Alright guys, this build is going to be special. This will be one to watch and check back on. This nice looking silver 69 Charger is getting ready to get the engine replant of its lifetime. That stock motor and trans is coming out, and this car is getting stuffed with a 1,000 horsepower Hellephant crate motor, 1,000 horsepower 426 HEMI supercharged with 950 foot-pounds of torque. I was really excited to catch this car in its early stage because I really want to document this build for you guys. This isn't one you see every day. Those motors were very limited production, and I guess they're pretty hard to get. After it was disassembled, it went out and got a complete chemical dip. It came back to the shop, and as you can see, it's got some of the usual problems that you see on a car this old. Lower quarters, rockers, trunk pan problems, floor pans, stuff that a lot of old cars, have. And a lot of the stuff you can't see until you take a car down to bare metal like this.
Alright, back here at Finer Details, checking on the crazy Hellephant Charger build. This Charger is getting a 1,000 horsepower Hellephant motor. There's previous footage I shot, which you've already seen. So here is the updates that we're at with the welding that's going on with this car.
As you saw in the past videos, this car needed some help with the structure and the body panels. It had some rot. I mean, it's an old car, so it's definitely a very common thing when you take these cars down to bare metal to find problems. So we'll start with the front here. This is a new custom lower radiator support for strength. These welds this is not finished yet. This is all work in progress. This is all going to be cleaned up nicely. Usually when these are installed, they call for removing this piece, like cutting it off, putting the bottom on, and welding that back on. But Jim was able to just splice it, put the piece in from below, and leave the factory bracket in place. We tried to keep as much of the factory body and structure in place on these cars when they're welded. So that was a nice little touch he did. But this is going to make it much stronger. Remember, this car is going to have a 1,000 horsepower motor, so it's going to be twisting, and it's going to need all the help it can get. Looking here, Jim put a new apron on this side. It was missing the corner here, so he built all of that new, and actually was able to put the square nut back into it, the factory, like you see on the other side there. This was all missing, so he did a nice job there. Also, when he welded this apron in, he went and hit all the same factory spot welds in place. Didn't have to do that, but it's just going to help it look from the front like it wasn't replaced. Here you can obviously tell work has been done. This will get undercoated, of course, but it's just a nice little touch that he did to keep it looking as factory as possible when you look under the hood. Coming up here, there's a factory seam here and here, usually on these cars. Jim welded these in solid, so the less flexing, the better, of course. Usually that's really not done on a restoration, but this is gonna have a lot of horsepower, so now this car is getting a lot more rigid because of that. Even looking back here, the factory seam. Usually the factory would do 2 big welds here and here. Jim came in, welded this whole thing solid. This will then get body worked nicely. This is a vinyl top car, but if you come around the other side, you'll see that he took the time to fill it in properly and make it real nice. Even though it's not going to be seen, sometimes under a vinyl top things can happen, and down the road you may start to see a seam pop through or whatever, but he did this right, so you're not going to have any problems down the road. It's going to look nice and flat under that roof. Looking back here, these corners were rotted out, so Jim's in the process of rebuilding those. New metal, they still need to be worked and finished off right. but it's coming along nice. Back to the beautiful trunk pan here. Everything from the wheelhouses back is going to be replaced new. For now, all that structure stays in place. You don't want to just cut it all out. This whole car will just start flopping around. You want to leave that, you know, factory structure in place for now. But it's going to have, this is going to get mini tubs for fatter tires, all new trunk pan, new frame rails, with the exception of this one. This frame rail is still solid. This one's not bad. Like, it could pass and be kept in here. But when you're at this point, this is the time to do it, so why not? The customer said, absolutely, let's replace that one, make it brand new. So the next time you see this car, I'm thinking a lot of this will be changed out by then and new. Oops. And obviously it's got some stuff that needs to be addressed down here. I'm sure this is all going to be done by the time we come back as well. I can't wait to see it with those mini tubs in there too. But Jim's doing a great job so far.
And from what I know, the customer's gonna keep this looking like a stock Charger as far as the appearance and the trim and everything and the wheels. So, but when it's running, you're gonna know it's not stock. It's gonna have a crazy motor under the hood. So I'm kind of glad for now that it's going to have a stock appearance, because I just love that on these old cars.
So definitely check back on the channel. I'm going to do lots of updates on this thing, and I will reveal the color soon.